What's up, everybody? Fast here. So I got my girl Monica here, and what this video is going to be about is how to get comfortable with your bike. It's like bike bonding time, and how to get comfortable pushing it around with it off. So I just did this last Thursday for practice, and I had about 16 people here, and had everybody do the same thing for about an hour. We're not going to take that long, but I'm just going to kind of summarize what we went over. Because for me, I've been a motorcycle instructor for 5 years, so bringing motorcycles in and out of a container, it's so natural how to push a bike forward, back, turn it around, but it may not be that intuitive to other people. So she's never done this before. She wasn't here for practice, so it's going to be her first reaction of doing all this stuff. So now I'm just going to walk her through, kind of summarize what we did before. So the first thing I want you to do is just push the bike forward to here, however way you think you know how. So was the bike in first gear or was it in neutral? First. So if you put your bike in neutral, the issues with that is if you're going in neutral, now you have to use your physical strength to slow the bike down. Mm-hmm. What if you're backing it up down a hill and it's in neutral?
You're gonna go back.
Right, it's just gonna go. So you have to maybe use the brake. But if you're leaving in first gear, if you ever think anything has to happen, you can release the clutch, and now that is the brake. Does that make sense? So I want you to get the bike up and push it back to where you were. Alright, so pushing the bike forward, everybody does what you just did. You get the bike upright. I recommend leaving it in first gear, just using the clutch, and you can push it with both handlebars to get the weight going forward, right? Or you could grab the back somewhere, the seat or whatever else, and you can push it forward like this. Of course, once you come to a stop, you go down, you go down. When you go backwards, you just did what a lot of people do. You get the bike upright, and then you're like, oh man, and you're going very slow because you can't see what you're doing. So try this. Once I do this, you try the same thing. Pull in the clutch, put your hand on the seat, keep it upright, and look where you're going, and just simply walk. Once you learn to stop, you slowly ease out the clutch, the bike can stop, or just stop the bike. Kickstand down, let it go. So a different way to back it up is you bring the bike up, kickstand up, and then push with both hands, looking to where you're going. So now you can actually see, it makes it so much easier. Okay, you're good. Another thing, just to be comfortable, this I want you to do. So you're gonna mimic, once I do it, I want you to do it. This is just another thing to build confidence with your bike. I want you to get the bike upright, and you can hold on to it wherever you want to, but I only want 2 fingers on this bike. Go ahead. Lift it up, and only have 2 fingers touching the whole thing. Wherever you want to hold it, it doesn't matter. Just 2 fingers. Because every bike has a balance point. And once you realize that the bike is balanced, there's almost no effort you have to do to hold it up. If you ever think the bike's gonna fall, let it fall that way because the kickstand is down. Look at that, 2 fingers. Now I got the bike. You go. So if the kickstand is down, this is something else. Kick it forward to make sure it's all the way forward. This is something I need everybody to get comfortable with. If the bike is straight up and down, without pushing it, you should be able to just let the bike go and be comfortable with the bike, knowing the kickstand will save it. So if I bring the bike straight upright, right, the kickstand is down. If I'm only holding on to it with 2 fingers wherever I want to, the bike is balancing. I have to be comfortable letting it go and knowing the kickstand will save it from just vertical down to the kickstand. It's perfectly fine. Next comfort building thing to do. So now you can put a hold hand on the bike. If you ever feel like the bike wants to fall, just push it to the left to fall on the kickstand. But I want you to walk an entire lap around this bike, only 1 hand touching it at every time. So only 1 hand at a time. You keep it straight upright and there's no weight, right? Only 1 hand is allowed to touch it. Do a full lap. Go for it. Or bike building confidence time. And again, on Thursday with everybody, nobody knew I was going to do this. It was a lot of fun. I had I think 17 people here, and we all did the same thing. It was a lot of fun. And if you ever think the bike's going to fall, it's always better to let it fall that way because you have the kickstand for safety. And of course, if you think the bike's gonna fall, grab it with both hands. Don't let the bike fall, just try to do this, but it helps you out. It gets you to realize where the balance point is at, and it gets you more comfortable with the bike about walking around and moving it around.
Trying to keep it at one hand.
If you have to use two, then you have to use two. But it just builds your confidence with the bike. That's the whole purpose of it. You get it to the balance point, and the soft and slow movements you do to try to keep it balanced.
Yeah.
Because most people never do this and want to get that fear like it might fall. So go and do it. That's the whole idea.
I know.
You get the idea.
Yes.
Put it back down.
All right.
So another thing, so practice that, do one lap one way, one lap the other way, it builds your confidence. Next, if you want to try to turn the bike around, there's a couple ways to do it. So first thing, everybody watch this, right? So if I want to turn the bike around, if I keep the bike straight up and down, and I go to make a full big circle, the handlebars are at full lock. Look how big this circle is. Keep backing up. How can I make a tighter circle? I'm already at full lock. What do I need to do? Lean the bike more. Watch how tight this bike will lean. If I just lean the bike more. So that's a demonstration of why you must lean the bike in order to make a tighter turn. The bike can turn really damn tightly. So if you're doing the MotoJitsu weave or the circle and you can't get it inside of a tight circle, you have to lean the bike more. In order to lean the bike more, you have to go a little bit faster to make the bike lean more. So if you want to turn the bike and you're having a hard time trying to turn it within your garage or at a parking lot or somewhere, it's probably because the bike is straight up. You need to lean the bike more. The next thing we'll have you do is this, like a Y turn. This is what I have you do. You're gonna push the bike forward. Push the bike forward, full lock. And once it comes to a stop, you can use the brake. Full lock the other way, pull out to the rear. Look where you want to go, back it up. Stop it, turn it, then come back this way. So exactly where your bike is right now, push it forward, turn around, and bring it right back to the same spot. Get the handlebars turned first. There you go. Turn the handlebars first, now you don't have to worry about it, and then you just simply push. Or if it seems like it's too heavy, it might be leaning too much. So the higher you go, so it's balanced, the easier the lighter the bike will feel. There you go. Both hands back on the handlebar. Full lock the other way. And just push it forward. And I just made a complete Y turn. The bike's turned around. Like so. So bike building, bonding, fun time, right? So a lot of people may not realize you could turn on and push it this way. And on Thursday we had Harleys, big, huge, heavy cruisers, sport bikes, a big, huge Harley with like a full dresser thing, every single bike you can imagine. And then we actually did at the end of the day how to pick up a bike. We already have a video about that, but I just demonstrated with everybody again. You know, just get the bike down low, walk it backwards, pick it back up. Relay, go practice with your bike. Push it forward, turn it around, lean the bike really far, see how tight of a circle you can make. Walk backwards as you're going like that. Walk it forward, and just get comfortable with your bike. Bring the bike up, 2 fingers. Now take a lap around your bike, only one hand on the bike at all times. It just builds your confidence with the bike, so you're no longer afraid. You're at a gas station, you're somewhere else, of how to push the bike around, so you don't have no one's looking at you like, oh, did this guy start riding yesterday? What is he doing? You just get the bike and just push it. You just go with it. If you can't successfully push your bike around by yourself, that's a big red flag. The bike is too heavy for you. It's too big of a bike for you if you can't push it around by yourself. You shouldn't. If you tip the bike over at a stop sign in the middle of nowhere, you should be able to pick it back up and handle your own bike yourself. Be self-efficient. So anyway, go ahead and practice. It's a whole lot of fun, and thanks for watching. Subscribe. See you next time. Hey everybody, real quick. So Alec just reminded me, there's another way you could do, like where you put the bike on a kickstand and you kind of spin the bike around. I'm sure you've seen people do that. I don't recommend doing that, first of all, because it's a 400-pound bike on a little tiny kickstand, and I just don't trust it to do that. But another reason why I don't do it, because most of my videos, almost all of them, apply to all bikes. Not all bikes you could do that little kickstand turn on, so I don't teach it, because it doesn't apply to every bike. It only applies to lightweight motorcycles, sport bikes mainly, or sport touring type bikes, you're not going to do that on a Harley or a Goldwing. It's 1,000 pounds. You think that's going to work? So I don't recommend doing that because of those two reasons. It's not for every bike, and only certain types of bikes can even do it. And plus, I don't recommend doing that. If you have to spin your bike around like that, think about why you parked it there in the first place. If you have to spin your bike in a 180, why not just back it in next time the way I just showed you, so that way when you go to leave, your bike is already pointing in the right direction. If you break off your kickstand, a lot of times the bike won't even start because there's a sensor that won't even start the bike without the kickstand up. And I just dropped the kickstand. You just lean your bike up against the wall now, you have to go get it replaced, and I just don't recommend doing it. You can do it if you want to, of course. You can do whatever you want to do, but I just don't recommend that for those reasons. So that's just something that he reminded me of, and I wanted to talk about because I talked about that with everybody this past Thursday. So there you go. Now it's okay. Thanks for watching. See you later.